Hello, I'm Major Anxiety, and welcome to my first ever Bannerlord video series. I'm kind of what's known as a mature gamer, which is what polite people say when they don't want to say you're an old fart. Played a lot of genres. What I really like, though, are open world, sandboxy games that either have a story or allow you to tell your own story. Given the mods already available and those that are in development that are total conversion mods, I think Bannerlord is a great platform for this. As kind of the introduction or prologue for this series, I kind of want to set the parameters by which this playthrough will take place. Then I'll highlight the major mods that we've used to create a brand new world that I've never played before. And then lastly, we'll jump into the player creation menu and create our character and start filling out those missing pieces for his backstory. So what are these parameters or rules that I mentioned earlier? Essentially 4 rules that I want to abide by as I play through the story. Firstly, for settings, we're going to play realistic difficulty. I also want to play a melee fighter. I want to be infantry, where steel meets blood and bone. Never played one of those before, and I'm thinking that'd be kind of exciting. It's not to say I won't get on a horse from time to time, but for the most part, I want to fight on the ground, with my feet on the ground. Death enabled. Hey, this is a series, it's a life and death situation. My playthrough may be shorter than I intended, but we'll give it a whirl. I don't like the blacksmith exploit. It's way too easy to make cash. In this game we're going to focus on workshops and caravans. We're going to earn money the old-fashioned way. We're going to capture people and ransom them. We're going to kill them, take their crap and sell it. Beyond those basic parameters, we want to select a group of mods that will basically change everything in the game that we've experienced in vanilla. I want to have a new world map, I want to have a bunch of new factions that I've never played before, and I want a new way to start the game from a different perspective rather than the same old. I've selected 4 mods that will basically do just that for me. It's going to give us a fresh start with something I've never experienced before. Calradia Expanded is the first mod. This thing takes the vanilla map, slices and dices it, turns it on its ear. It moves things around, terrain checkpoints, mountain passes, water crossings, towns, castles, villages. It adds 14 new additional towns, 8 castles, and 77 brand new villages to the map. Some cities that are located on water ports now have a dock where you can catch a boat to another city. Calradia Expanded Kingdoms. The guy that made the one that I mentioned earlier teamed up with some other modders and added 8 new kingdoms to Calradia, each with their own troop trees and cultural bonuses. It took the existing kingdoms, reforged them, changed their land, their troop trees, and their cultural bonuses to fit this new Calradia Expanded universe. The beauty of this is, even though I may have been familiar with the original factions, they've changed so much that something that was strong in the vanilla version may be weak now, so it'll be new and fresh. Open source armory. It's a requirement for the Calradia Expanded Kingdoms mod. These guys took 5 mods, took the armor in them, put them all into one that added 380 new custom armor pieces to the game to outfit all of these new troop trees. This last one's called Freelancer, and it's going to change the way that we start the game. Basically, you can play this several ways. You can defend caravans as a guard, you can become a bandit and criminal, you can serve as a lord's army as a regular soldier, which is what I'm going to do. It's really well done and a great alternative to the starting experience. So the combination of these 4 mods I think pretty much gives us a brand new world to play in. Something I've never experienced, something I've never faced in an opponent. So thank you to the modders for your creativity and the time that you put into making these and building so much replayability into the games we love. Alright, with that, let's pop into the game and start working on creating our character. We're going to start in sandbox mode. I want to play one of the new factions for this, and after looking at them I've decided on going with the Paleic people. The Paleics are indigenous people of Calradia that have been held down and used for centuries as lesser people by almost every other kingdom in the lands. The Paleic people have risen up and taken advantage of the chaos of war to stake their claim to Calradia, taking most of their weapons and armor from the Valandians, who they have overthrown. they're quickly seeking to establish themselves as a true kingdom of the land. So they have a pretty good cultural bonus, more XP from battles, a little bump up on construction speed bonus to towns, and that's a good thing to have in the game. On the character customization, I kind of went through earlier and came up with a character that I like, so just a little Bannerlord tip, and I'm not sure if it's part of the base game or if it's something you need to have the banner paste mod for, because I do have that installed. But if you just come over to the character creation area and you right click or activate on it, you can do Control-C and copy all of the settings in the character customization menu, and then you can paste that in Notepad or some other text editor. I've already done that for the character I want to create, so I'm just going to come in here over him, put the cursor there, and hit Control-V, and it will import all of the settings that were set in the character customization. Now, I'm going to change his hair just a little bit more. I'm going to go with darker hair. Something a little... Getting a character whose eyes don't look all buggy is somewhat hard sometimes, so... Anyway, I kind of like the looks of this guy. We're going to go with him. And just go back to the main page. He's not going to be a Neanderthal, but we'll have him be fit. He'll be a little bit taller.
Leave no one breathing!
There's a little bit of... I think he smokes too much.
Hold your ground!
There you go. Good command voice. Alright, so let's hit next. So, this is where we basically can set the parameters for our character. So his parents are going to be freeholders, small farmers with just enough land to feed themselves and make a small profit. I'm going to say I was known for my way with people. It's going to give me some social skills, charm. Charm will be important for a young man making his way in the world. Adolescence, we're going to choose selling produce at the market. Well, you know, it makes sense. His parents had a farm. They're going to sell a little produce at the market. It's going to give him some more social. Plus it gives him the trade skill, which is going to be handy. So even though his father was part of the levy as a young man, he did a little bit of training with the infantry. That's going to help in the vigor side of things. Pole arm, one-handed. And then lastly, he defeated an enemy in battle. Again, that's going to give him vigor, give him a little one-handed, a little two-handed skill. So we're going to focus on the points here that'll make him a good fighter, a good infantryman. We're going to start him out at 20. He's going to be a young man. That's where we'll start. I want him to start young in defining this story. All right. Sigric, the name is, of Paleic. We are going to use realistic. I'm just going to go on movement speed a little easier. Normal, veteran, challenging. So we'll do combat AI challenging. We are going to have death enabled, and I will have auto allocate clan member perks. Okay, so we've set the stage for young Sigric's adventure. Last name is Morgan. We're going to choose a black banner. I'll use a leaf pattern since they were farmers. That'll work. So as you can see, we've spawned into the game near Saniopa, and it's from here that we'll start our story in the next episode. If you made it to this point in the video, I thank you for your time. If you have any comments or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. If you would like to, you could also use my other social media linked in the description and in the video above. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you next time.